Hello and welcome to this episode of Focus On. We'll put the spotlight on the inaugural Mining in Motion event in Accra, Ghana. Local and international stakeholders across the value chain of the mining sector focused on the theme Sustainable Mining and Local Growth, Leveraging Resources for Global Impact. I'm Kenneth Igbomo, and I'll bring you an exclusive interview with Oheneba Kwaku Duah, the Managing Director of the Ashanti Green Initiative, a foundation that promotes responsible natural resource management. From new government-backed reforms like the introduction of the gold board licensing system and formal community mining programs to the leadership of His Majesty Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, who has championed environmental stewardship and inclusive development, Ghana is showing what it means to mine with purpose.
It is an awesome feeling to be able to assemble such a glitter of global power, knowledge and expertise. It is a testimony to the fact that the issue at hand is not only of concern to Ghana or even the continent of Africa, but it is of equal concern to the world at large. So,
on the sidelines of the inaugural Mining in Motion event, Prince Oheneba Kwaku Duah, the Managing Director of the Ashanti Green Initiative, shares with me his inspiration for the event and how they are looking to shape national dialogues around sustainable and equitable mining.
What inspired the conversation was the increased difficulties that we saw arising in the sector. I think for too long a time, we've not been able to maximize the benefits that we're supposed to be deriving from our natural resources. The Ashanti is Ghana's most gold-rich region. We've been trading in gold for centuries. Our kingdom is over 400 years old, and I always tell people that even during the colonial era, we were trading 2 tons a month with the British. That's 2,000 kilos. It's not too far from what we do now, even though we have more advanced technology. So that just goes to show that gold mining is enshrined in the blood of our people. So obviously, when the difficulties started arising around the way gold was being mined, especially in the small-scale mining sector, we said, considering the fact that a lot of those challenges were in our region, and that the royal family typically takes a more relaxed or more laid-back role for the government to take that proactive step to sorting out issues. We said, okay, look, why not just nudge a little bit more and work more closely with the government? Perhaps our presence in such an incentive would be able to motivate our people to take a different look at things. And that is what led to the creation of the Ashanti Green Initiative. My father has a foundation of, the palace has its own foundation. But we wanted a foundation that takes a look more at minerals, more at sustainability, predominantly sustainability and minerals. So that was what led to the creation of Ashanti Green Initiative, more of a specialized foundation as part of the broader things that we as the Ashanti royal family do. So that's what that's what really led to all of this.
All right, now, because now it's the first Mining in Motion, and I'm trying to understand the larger scope here. And looking at the theme this year, aligns with what you just said: sustainable mining, local growth, and how to drive impact. And I'd like you to speak to that in terms of the outcomes here, because we've seen incredible speakers here in the past 2 days.
What good is the resources if it doesn't improve the lives of our people? We are aware that when we trade our resources, it comes into government coffers. But there needs to be a keen focus paid to the communities as well. Yes, it improves our balance sheets as a country, but how do the communities benefit? Especially considering the fact that a lot of revenue is directed more towards bigger cities. Sometimes the communities where the actual resources are kind of get neglected. So what we want to do is to improve beneficiation, improve community development. One thing that I'm very passionate about is when mining companies or even oil companies enter any community, I'm very passionate about the fact that I expect them to hire a large contingent of people from those communities. That is a way to share knowledge with them. That is a way to improve the skills of the people there. And those are some of the things that we wanted to highlight. That's why you saw with Anglo Gold's presentation, we told them that why don't you highlight on some of the things that you've done for the communities? Let people see, use this as a benchmark that the mining companies are supposed to come in, assist the communities, and we as traditional leaders and people who are involved in the sector to spearhead and to encourage people.
Yeah, because now the issue of traditional leadership, seeing your father on the podium displaying Ghana's culture in such a bright way at the heart of the conversations here spoke volumes to everybody who witnessed it. And it speaks to the importance of having traditional leadership at the heart of the conversations here. And I'd like you to speak to that in terms of why you're being that intentional, and the role that the traditional leadership will play in forging the conversations here.
So my father is somebody who's very passionate about community development, about growth. So, like I mentioned earlier as well, when the issues arose, my father was very cognizant of the fact that, like you rightly said, we as the traditional leadership, especially given my father's status and reputation, have a very special role to play. Considering the fact that people see our traditional leadership as parents, people that they can really speak to more as a father and son or father and daughter a relationship. We decided to take that step to say that, look, we're aware that there's challenges, we're aware that there's problems in the sector, but one thing that we cannot do is lose sight of where we want to get to. So we look at things from a very peripheral view. We're always looking at things from a very top, very above view, because we deal with stakeholders in the government and we deal with the communities as well. And we said, okay, we're going to enhance the bridge between the two to ensure that all voices are heard from the communities, the mining companies, the government officials, because there's issues that obviously the government would communicate to the community, and then there's issues the community would communicate to the government. And sometimes there's lapses in these conversations. And one of the things that was very important to us is that in the day-to-day running of a country, there is so many things that are on the tables of the administrations. We need to have a specialized conversation on this specific thing in such a way that it will not be had in isolation or in pockets. It will not be a conversation between the government and the international community on one side, the miners and the government on another side, traditional leadership and government on another side. We said, okay, let us all come together in one room. International communities, that's why you see such powerful presence from the OECD, the LBMA, the World Gold Council, the World Bank. These are key institutions that regulate the sector. And then you have us, the traditional leadership here, who are the conveners. And then you have the government here. You have seen from the president to the ministers, there's over 15 ministers present at this summit. It just goes to show that even beyond Ghana, we are looking to extend all the things that we have learned and the things that we are looking to communicate. Because the community issues, they transcend beyond Ghana alone.
Yeah, it's good to see that multi-stakeholder approach being adopted here. And Ghana is in the middle of reforms, like you rightly said. The challenges here are mirrored across Africa and even Asia and other developing countries. And seeking a solution to these challenges will definitely go a long way to and provide insights for other countries there. But then, looking at the reform cycle that is happening in Ghana, I would love to get your take on it.
I think results speak for themselves, and the results are evident. One big thing about this conference was that a lot of people were very excited for Mr. Sami Jainfi, who spoke a few minutes ago to speak, because people are quite impressed with the results that the Gold Board has been able to achieve, which is one of the biggest reforms that we see in the sector now. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources as well, being a co-convener to this conference, has also shown significant improvements. They've done multiple projects, and I think that what we can do as a collective is to support them, to show some goodwill, to give them the patience to be able to enact their policies. And I think that going forward, we're setting ourselves up for a revolution of the mining sector in a very positive way.
Yeah, because the key focus has been on the artisanal miners here, and looking at the broader vision of mining in motion and of the Ashanti Green Initiative, how are you looking at the broader mining space in Ghana? And how would you also like to ingrain the conversations here to be at the forefront of dialogues that are shaping the sector?
So in terms of looking at the entire sector, artisanal mining spans beyond gold alone. There is several other minerals involved in the artisanal mining sector, critical minerals, precious minerals. And although the conversation is predominantly about gold, now it's because of the fact that the spotlight is on gold. The prices are going up, and Ghana is dealing with issues around galamsey. But that does not mean that we are neglecting the other minerals. And I think that it's something that future iterations of mining in motion would also focus on. Unfortunately, we only have virtually 2 days. The third day is not really a conference style. So we couldn't really find a way to fit everything in. Even on the gold conversation, I think there's still bits and bobs that we would have ideally have liked to put on a day 3. But yes, I do believe that future iterations, which is something that we're looking to do, that would look and span beyond just gold as well.
A lot has been said in the past 2 days. I've listened to exciting keynote speeches. I've listened to your dad speak. I've listened to the president speak. For you, what has been that biggest takeaway from the conversations here?
I feel like the biggest takeaway is collectivism. We've come together. And I'm going to be honest, even when we started the summit, people felt like it was very audacious to believe that everyone would come together. To have the international regulators, the people who have drawn up the gold standards, to have us, the mineral-rich countries here, not just Ghana alone, but we're represented by several other countries. There's over 6-7 ministries present here as we speak, ministers, deputy ministers present. And then you have the artisanal miners, the guys boots on ground are here. You have the regulators, the Minerals Commission, you have the Ghana Gold Board, you have everybody here. You have the mining companies, large-scale mining companies, you have Goldfields, Anglo Gold, Newmont, you have trading companies like StoneX. Everybody's here. Everyone is here. And that has been the biggest takeaway, is that if the message is right and the intentions are pure, the people will come to the table to listen.
And that was an inspiring conversation from Oheneba Kwaku Duah, spotlighting not just a vision, but a concrete pathway forward, formalizing artisanal mining, empowering local communities, and turning gold into opportunity. I'm Kenneth Bomo. Thanks for watching.